Do you all want to die tonight? We're sitting ducks here. If you still intend to get home, start acting like it.
Here, inside the train, the atmosphere remains just as tense when Kate reveals that she once applied for a job at Adrian's company. However, instead of paying attention to her qualifications or resume, Adrian spent the entire interview staring at her appearance, which ultimately led to Kate being rejected. The conversation unintentionally exposes Adrian's selfish personality even more clearly. Not long afterward, Matt suddenly hears Nina's voice calling for help from somewhere deep in the forest. Even though the situation is obviously dangerous, he still foolishly follows the voice, hoping Nina might still be alive.
Hello?
Matt, what the fuck are you doing?
Where are you? Where are you?
Unfortunately, the decision quickly turns into a fatal mistake. Once Matt reaches the location, he finds Nina's body in a horrifying condition. Before he even has a chance to escape, he realizes the creatures attacking them are not alone. Several werewolves suddenly emerge from the darkness and surround him from every direction until Matt eventually becomes their next victim. Matt's screams, followed by the loud howls of the werewolves, terrify everyone inside the train even more. Strangely, at the exact same moment, Jenny, who is still tied up, begins reacting in a disturbing way after hearing the howls. Her teeth slowly sharpen while her behavior turns more aggressive by the second. Outside, Billy's efforts finally pay off when the train engine successfully comes back to life. However, a new problem immediately appears because Billy cannot safely make it back inside the carriage. Two werewolves are wandering dangerously close to him, forcing him to remain outside. At the same time, Joe and Ellen, who are inside the driver's cabin, suddenly panic after two creatures unexpectedly appear right in front of the train. Out of pure fear, Ellen accidentally pulls the control lever, causing the train to suddenly move forward again. As a result, Billy, who is still outside, has no choice but to cling underneath the moving train while desperately trying not to fall. Although he manages to hold on at first, Billy slowly begins losing his strength. As the train keeps moving, he realizes there is no way he can continue hanging there forever. With no other option left, Billy desperately removes the patch he had placed over the damaged fuel line earlier. He knows the fuel leak will return and force the train to stop again, but it is the only way he can survive. And, just as expected, shortly after the fuel begins leaking once more, the train gradually loses power before finally stopping in the middle of the forest again. But at the exact same time, the situation inside the carriage becomes even more chaotic. Jenny, who is now fully transformed into a werewolf, finally breaks free from her restraints and immediately attacks her own husband, Ged. In the middle of the panic, Kate uses the chaos as an opportunity to untie Adrian so they can both escape from Jenny. However, the situation only becomes worse when another werewolf suddenly breaks into the carriage. Since Kate is standing closest to the door, the creature instantly grabs her and drags her out of the train. Adrian briefly tries to hold on to Kate's hand, but because he is too terrified of